You look like you've been in Hawaii.
I was.
He's just
You still
smiling.
got the smile and the,
Well, the smile, yeah.
yeah, so,
we have a
your, I
call?
just saw your email, so David, at your convenience.
It's already.
Already sent,
Too
okay.
late.
Too late.
I was gonna send it anyway. I got it.
Oh, you
myself.
got it too? Okay.
And so I just,
All
but
right,
I credit it to you, so.
Email? Okay.
yeah. So,
After you left home.
what's that?
After I left, yeah.
Yeah, telling Tim it's after you left home.
Yeah.
Let's get the minutes done. If
Yeah,
people
we-
have any
Two
minutes.
minutes, right? December 14th and January 11th, I think, is that right?
I thought it was just the 11th.
Well, we didn't do, I was remembering the last meeting, we didn't do any minutes. And I think
It was all hearing. It was all.
the only reason I think we didn't do them is because I still have them, because I usually get rid of them or put them somewhere else if I do. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think we did the December 14th.
Yeah, maybe I printed up the wrong minutes for myself anyway. No, there would be 11. And I completely said, accept the minutes from 12, or, yeah, 12/7.
Yeah, we did those.
All right,
So I think that should have been,
But then we had a meeting the next week, we had another meeting.
Yeah.
we
so
didn't
that
do
should be the, 12/14.
Right.
all right, so who's got anything on 12/14? All right, I'd like to make oh, well, we're gonna need to designate people, each of you. You for Vicky, oh, yeah, and you for Rich Mengy. Okay,
Okay.
and Vicky's not coming, or you just haven't heard?
He's not coming.
Okay,
And David Kahn's not coming?
I believe he's in Louisiana
and
No,
Vicky was
fishing.
going to Costa Rica.
She must be back.
Maybe. Anyway, she's not here. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes as drafted. Is there a second? All those in favor? All right, and what about the next minutes?
I didn't know anything about those either.
Anybody? All right, I'd like to make a motion. Oh, yeah.
I need to, take out or put in something better about item 2, acceptance of the minutes. I just said acceptance of the minutes and did not,
Okay,
so.
okay. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes with David Robbins' amendation. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Bingo. All right, so let's go over the typos. Let me just get Rich Mengy. Let me do Rich Mengy's. Did you take Rich Mengy's thing? No. I just had it. You couldn't have gotten far. Oh, yeah, here it is again. I wanted to remind you that I'm out of town. I found a few typos. Others found them too. I support putting this before the voters at town meeting regarding the meeting minutes. I thought I voted yes to include roof or ground mounted. Oh, that's a minute thing. Oh, God. Yeah, I thought I voted yes.
Just on that minute to the 14th.
I guess the most recent one. Regarding the minutes, I thought I voted yes to include roof or ground mounted of 2,000 square feet or less of small energy systems.
We can amend our vote.
Yeah. I have no idea. Here it is.
Your second page,
Yeah.
halfway down,
Yeah.
Tim Cook, John Sadler and Rich Mengy voted no. I remember him voting no too, actually. But-
what is it specifically he's saying?
He's saying he voted yes?
To do what?
to modify the language for small energy systems, to say a solar energy system that is either roof mounted or ground mounted with a cumulative footprint of 2,000 feet or less.
I have it in my notes because all the motions. I. Oh, excuse me, not COVID,
Good to know.
been tested. I took those, and I write down votes. Yeah, that's something that gets written down. Who
So,
votes what?
so you have them as no?
I have it, Adam, as no,
That's what I recall. Anyway, we
Yeah.
voted for it. Let's leave it.
and I can go back,
It won't change anything.
It's not gonna
so
change anything, just
Yeah.
let's just leave it.
We can point out that Rich forgot how we voted. Poor Rich. Kidding.
Also Russ McIntyre's name is misspelled.
I corrected that already.
Okay. And then he says on January 24th, apparently I misunderstood the motion. I don't know what that means.
January 24th.
Did he?
Oh, that's from David. That's from David. I see. Okay, so that's all he's got. Okay. All right, so, let's go through the, mistakes here. So the first one, and if anybody else has one before, a solar energy system may be A, or is it should just be left may be? Because may be roof mounted solar energy system, it seems like there should be an there.
Where are you?
So the first, solar
Just the
energy,
first paragraph,
yeah,
Solar energy.
before the colon, should it, there be, it may be a roof mounted solar system, tracking solar energy system. Yeah, that
okay,
makes sense.
all right.
Okay, I'm still lost and I.
So right
Unless
here,
somebody
The
else.
very first paragraph. First paragraph on the.
Instead of it just saying may be, should say may be a.
Oh, okay.
A,
A.
or as my daughter says when she wants to emphasize it,
ah,
yeah, she says, cookie. You can have cookie. It's like,
well, that-
You let your daughter talk to you like that?
she does it to her
Want a
daughter,
cookie?
just for clarity.
okay, then at the bottom of the page, I just would like somebody to explain this last sentence to me. The area of the footprint of a pedestal for a tracking system or racks for a fixed system shall be excluded from this area of calculation.
Right, the footprint. Yeah, that makes sense, I think, doesn't it?
So what does it mean?
Well, we're not including the area of the footprint of the pedestal, right, for the
The
tracker.
pedestal is the thing that it's,
That it's
it's
fixed
on-
on, so
sits on.
that may be 2
Okay.
feet, 1 foot by 2, whatever.
Okay,
And then for a tracking system or racks for a fixed system. So you're not including
Okay.
the footprint of the rack.
so that's,
Seems a little bit like moot, because the pedestal is gonna be underneath
Right.
whatever you're doing.
Well, I think it
Yeah,
kind of clarifies that you're saying it's the area of the panel,
Okay,
not the
Right.
supporting structure.
Right.
right,
If in fact we found supporting structures had verandas and carports and things,
Yep.
then that we would change our.
Okay.
And that's good because the zoning board has always looked at pedestal mounted as it's just the area of pedestal.
Mhm.
That there are still uses that you can do underneath that. It's high enough off the ground.
Yeah.
So they will have to change their,
Well, I mean, they have a clear
right,
description and they can.
it'll be interesting if Dartmouth decides to put like covered parking at the skiway and the solar panels on the,
it's on a structure,
Yeah.
so
pardon?
you said that's roof mounted.
Yeah,
right. So John, I had
yeah,
in that same A section, and right in the middle, where it says, the land area occupied by all the components of the solar. I think maybe I'm wrong, but I thought we said we were gonna change it to energy system include, instead of collection system.
I believe you are correct.
Okay. I think Mark Bollinger was the one.
Yeah, I
that
think he was, yeah.
Yep. And I have that, I can remember that in my notes.
Let's see, the my pen.
I think that's the only place in here.
You have it in, I was going back to the minutes, because I have it back in the minutes from Mark. It's in,
Oh, yeah, it's in, oh no, that's something.
right,
So
solar energy system in medium.
C talks about solar collection system, B just calls it a solar energy system, so just the
Yeah, so-
language should just be consistent.
Yep, so this should be solar energy and then also in C.
Yeah,
Well, A says solar collection and C says solar collection
yeah, but then it says solar energy systems
in B.
above A though, that sentence.
I see.
Above A, it says solar.
Yeah, it just needs to be one phrase. Either one seems fine to me. I don't care.
And let's just go with solar energy because that's the name of the amendment. And all.
Right,
Cool.
Okay. Then I'm in 14.2, unless people have something before that. In 14.2 A, if a roof mounted SES modifies the building footprint or height of, how does your daughter say
A,
it?
Ah,
yeah.
Structure.
Yeah. Instead of the,
Oh, well, I don't know, it's blank in mine.
no, I have a,
You have a the?
yeah. I have
Oh,
another
oh,
put
the
across
structure.
that.
Okay, yeah, mine is blank, so I don't know why. So, yeah, so okay, so I don't know why this is covered up.
So we'll leave it. as
Yeah,
the-
so leave it
the.
as. And then. Again, for some reason, the copy I have has some weird stuff on it, but, requirements, 14.5 is, let me see how yours looks. Okay, so you have the capital M.
Yeah,
So shouldn't it be medium and large solar energy systems rather than medium large?
medium,
I think
comma,
so.
large.
Okay.
it would be clear.
Yeah.
To say that.
Okay,
So
yeah, so medium and large solar energy system.
that's right after the
this is in, right, in.
four
just
point
after the-
fifty after
Five,
conditional
yeah.
use permit
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
and,
Okay,
okay,
And why are, okay, it's capitalizing. Okay, fine, never mind. Shh.
and this is just for my understanding, in G. This was something that Rich Mengy added. I still don't understand. A large solar energy system may not be located on the site, which has an area of over an acre that has been clear cut within the last 5 years. And then he added prior to submission of a complete site plan
Yeah,
review.
and we voted on.
Right, so I'm just curious, so how does that change?
what it will allow is if you submit a site plan and say, I need to clear these 5 acres, the planning board can look at that and say, that's a reasonable request.
Okay,
Right,
so it just gives more flexibility.
Yeah.
Good.
yeah, so,
While honoring the survey results
Right.
that people say, well, we don't want that.
Right,
You know, it's like, it's a little nodding.
yeah, no, it's a
yeah, well, this
good,
makes a lot more sense.
it makes it more flexible.
Yeah, cause
All right, in H, fourth line down, I think it's components.
ENTS.
Yep,
yeah,
And,
I had on H, I
yeah,
thought somewhere we had said all proposed power and communication lines. I think that's again, something that Mark, maybe it said,
that rings a bell. But is it, so, I mean,
because I had that written in the mind, when we
Yeah.
were doing it, but whether we want to do that, I don't know, but. I think,
is there a difference?
So was Mark's concern that, Eversource runs these power lines down the road and we're somehow insisting that Eversource has to bury them?
I don't know.
But his concern was that you, the connection. that could be construed as going back all the way to the substation.
Yes, I remember, yeah, that's right.
And so-
We were talking about that.
It's only.
It's only what people are proposing, not the whole,
Right,
yeah.
Right, so would you want the proposing or propose, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And the chart. And everybody's okay with the chart?
So
where was that proposed? Was it?
H,
H,
all
all
proposed
proposed
power.
power and communication, first line. So everybody's good with the,
So in I,
okay,
all of a sudden we are starting to refer to SES project, which before has always been completely spelled out.
okay. Yeah, on any solar energy. Do you want solar energy or solar energy system project?
Solar
I would-
energy system.
Say solar energy system only
Okay.
because we're
That's
trying not to make any. If there are any changes
Right.
to this, then it doesn't go anywhere.
Right,
No typos,
Right,
it's just
so-
typos.
Okay.
Right.
And in fact, going back to H, on-site and off-site, I think should not have a space after the hyphen.
In dash, M dash,
I don't know, I get lost, but there shouldn't be a space there.
right.
So it's one word.
Yeah, we can fix
On
that,
dash, site, right.
Now, there's another SES, where did I just see that,
In C,
Oh, yeah,
oh, they're all over the place.
all right, let's do a run through for
Oh,
SES.
yeah, well, yeah, because we say solar energy system to the line above. and then-
Yes, so it's in the definition, solar energy systems, paren SES. So,
pick one. For consistency,
Let's spell it out. There's a lot of them.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
it's,
just do a find and replace, it'll
Yep.
take.
So what do people want? Just SES or?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right,
Well,
just SES,
especially if it's right
yeah,
below.
right,
You know, I think if it isn't right below it, then.
spell them all out then. We've got, I mean.
all right, all right. So,
Paper and pixels are cheap.
all right, so spell them all out.
Yeah,
okay,
All right, and the table? Everybody good with the table? All right, well, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
actually, I guess I'll be fussy here. Is there any possibility of getting
Yeah, I'll try to,
onto one page?
yeah, that's,
I will try,
That's a good
I
idea.
think the problem is because I have to have that this line moved, the very top line moved down, so.
Yep.
That dropped it down
So-
one.
That's worth at least 30 seconds and no more than 60.
The formatting.
Yep.
May change a little bit
Well, of course it will, right?
for the warrant, there may be some more added words. For the warrant that,
Right.
you know,
What's the format that this is gonna be? Is this? Oh, it'll be in the town report.
It'll
And
be
so
in-
it'll
it'll-
just be article something or another.
yep, and then
Oh, no, this is on the,
it's on the ballot.
It's on the ballot.
yeah, so it'll
But
be
is it
all,
on the ballot in full?
I forget how, I've talked to Patty, I think she can get around. If they can post it, and we can,
And they just say, do you
and
accept it or
reference
not? Yeah,
the town reports, as in, and it will probably be an appendix in the town report, not in the actual. Warrant, I gotta talk to Dina tomorrow on how she wants that.
right, because I would doubt somebody's gonna read this whole thing while they're standing in the voting booth.
They might,
well, and
Maybe,
what we,
yeah.
I mean, what would be gracious would be to have copies of this.
yeah.
Avail, you know, the town report will be there.
Yep.
And then copies of this could be available, and if, you know, if you wanna read this. You can stand in the voting booth, we don't care, but
Yep.
you might choose to sit down.
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's a weird amendment. because it,
It's a start.
yeah, it's a start. I mean, it doesn't do much. It's, I think we made the right decision to stick to the feedback, but it really doesn't. It doesn't do much. So this is the last chance to, last chance for happiness here.
Right. I might just move that we send this wording
As
off
is,
as is, yeah.
yeah, and it's gonna change. I mean, you guys next year
Yeah,
can revisit
you know, as
it.
we said at the last meeting, it definitely
Yeah.
would be a mix, so.
And maybe people will vote this down because they don't like it. But it is what it is. All right, so I'll make a motion to,
Rich just did.
oh,
Too
you,
late.
too late.
Yeah.
Rich made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? All right, very good.
It's only a year and a half.
God, a year and a half.
But we learned a lot. We learned a lot.
Yeah.
Think about what we didn't know when we started. Oh my God, we didn't know
The total
much
tonnage,
at all.
what we didn't know.
Yeah,
And we kept learning and then we kept saying, oh man, this changes that. You know?
Yeah,
it's, well, you guys will fix it. And, what else you got?
Well, the interesting thing is that if I mean, there's a letter, I don't know if there's a letter circulating in town looking for contributions to create a fund to repair the Edgell Bridge.
Sure.
Right.
oh, yes.
That's just gone to the rich people. We didn't get one. in other
Yeah,
words.
right, nor did I, yeah.
Ridiculous. If I see Bain, I haven't talked to them. That's ridiculous. I mean, they should have sent it to
Should go to
everybody in
everybody,
town.
yeah.
How did they decide who they didn't send it to? I mean, it was
They
stupid.
probably looked at their property value.
Yeah, but it's really bad.
But anyway, I didn't get one, but I've seen some of the text of this, but I am betting that there will be some energy for some kind of town financed solar array.
Mhm.
In one of the big farm fields around here, and if the town sponsors something
can
like
just
that,
do
they
it.
could just do it,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And a good way to do it. And that way it can be anywhere.
There's some crappy legislation in the New Hampshire House at the moment that,
There's a lot of crappy legislation in New Hampshire
well, this,
at the
this in
moment.
particular,
Always.
There's like a
this
thousand.
in
bills.
particular is going after using, they want, the phrase I think is like direct delivery. So they don't want any of the things like wind and solar that are sporadic in the delivery. So they want it to be like propane or gas or oil
I've heard of those.
Or nuclear.
or nuclear. That's the other one.
Nuclear.
No, wait, so then again, they don't,
They're trying to make it so that the regulations will favor the direct delivery.
okay.
They're all saying that, fossil fuel is gonna be part of the energy mix forever, and so this is ridiculous what you guys are doing, making it cost effective to put solar in. They want it to be nuclear or, gas.
Yeah, well, nuclear would be good.
Yeah, the fossil fuels, we're making more and more every day. So they're gonna last forever.
Yeah.
I know, but yeah, it's ridiculous. I think what I read, we're gonna use more propane or natural gas next year.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
the year after than we are now.
Well, the country is producing more fossil fuels than it ever has.
Because we're the largest exporter. The US is the largest
Exactly,
exporter
exactly.
of natural gas.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. Then I was looking, I guess I read in the New Yorker, England has a big problem. Did you see that? They have so much wind. that they-
Scotland's really ticked.
Yeah, they have so much wind that it overloads the grid so they have to say, don't produce this because there's
Feather
too
the
much
blades.
electricity. And these companies are getting paid for not producing it, but they're cheating and they're saying they actually were gonna produce more than they really would. So they've gotten paid all this money when they shouldn't have.
Well, Scotland has enough to be self-sustaining, but they're forced by the UK government to sell it, export it, the power, and then buy it back
Oh,
at much higher rates.
that is so
So-
bonkers.
Scotland is, going the way of Texas, I think.
Yeah, well, they have the right to, like Texas, they have the right to go
Yeah.
their own way.
To secede.
Yeah, yeah.
I read or watched a really good article on the Texas issues that they had a couple of years ago. And it wasn't as bad as, it was bad, but the failures were not as horrific as people were making it out to be. That they had several power plants that were down
Oh,
for
you're talking about
scheduled maintenance.
Yeah,
Because in Texas, wintertime is when the,
load is the least.
right, so wintertime is when you
Yeah.
bring things down. And then the other issue is that all the wind farms froze up because of the cold weather, and they're like, oh, well, they didn't insulate them. Well, in Texas, you don't insulate because in the summertime, you want that heat to dissipate. You can't have it both ways. It's not a, it's not like, they didn't make any huge mistakes. They were doing everything
Right.
correctly. It just, the perfect storm happened and it caused,
Yeah.
Things to fail.
Right,
But it was not any decision that was a bad decision on its own. It just, all these things happened at the same time.
interesting, yeah,
Yeah.
So it was not,
not as
now
reported.
granted, the person, it was a YouTube art video, the guy's from Texas, so, but.
Was it Ted Cruz?
No. I think the guy's from
But Texas has also isolated itself
Right,
from the
right,
grid,
Right,
so,
Right.
so
so
there was no way for them to
Right,
get backup.
it's,
that's the problem.
a series of videos, it's called the Practical Engineering.
Yeah.
And the guy is a civil engineer, and he goes through and talks a lot about civil engineering, and but it brings it down to, a first grade level that I can understand.
I read a wonderful book called To Engineer is Human. And it talks about how engineers do this and they say, oh, okay, so we've never had one of these at the same. So this is how we can do this. And sometimes that judgment is fabulous and the thing lasts for 100 years and there's never any problems. And sometimes actually you forgot about when this can happen too.
Yeah.
And then it leads to tears and then they say, okay.
We won't do that
We
again.
won't do that again, right, and so they change the codes and they change the standards and.
Live and learn.
And we move along,
Is
right,
that Bigger Brother Narrows Bridge,
the Arizona, right, not
No.
Arizona, the Tacoma,
Tacoma Narrows
Yeah.
Bridge?
right,
It was a beautiful, long suspension bridge that was open to great fanfare, but nobody took account of the crosswinds. And there's this incredible video of the bridge doing this with a Model T in the middle of it.
Oh, man.
I mean,
Just before it
swaying
collapses.
4 or 5 feet up
Exactly.
and down, I
And
mean, it
and
was,
corkscrewing,
yes, right.
Gee.
And
And where was this in Tacoma?
Washington State, yeah,
Tacoma.
yeah.
Was it this guy that I watched, he did one on fires and bridges, just after there was a big fire that took out, it's a tanker truck rolled over
Pennsylvania.
in Pennsylvania, rolled over
I-95.
and caused the bridge to collapse.
Oh, right.
And he's saying, yes, we could fireproof bridges, but how many bridges are there and how many times does this happen? It's just economically not
Right.
feasible, the cost outweighs the benefit and, yes, you may lose a few bridges to fire, but in the long run, rebuilding them is cheaper than trying to
Right.
engineer it to withstand absolutely everything.
Yeah, and that was the one they said initially it was gonna take how many months to do it, and they got it done in like 3 weeks or something.
Well, all they had to do is like pay people to work 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, yeah, I mean, the working conditions were just, my sister's been sending to me and my friend these historic photos of mostly around New York, and these guys working on construction jobs where they're like up 40 stories and they're standing there as
No safety harness.
casually.
it's my stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
what's-
I mean, it's just,
What's the Native American tribe that does that? They were famous.
right, they were famous, yeah.
Nava, I think it was
It
Nava.
was
Those
Navajos.
guys, yeah, back in the 30s and 40s, but they were
yeah,
totally
Totally at home.
Right, making big bucks, they're getting paid like several dollars a day, I'm sure.
at least, yeah.
So actually, on a more practical note, was this to be a public hearing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Should we open the public hearing?
If you would like.
Yes, let's open the.
Yeah, we
public-
probably should.
All right, I'd like to open the public meeting. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes, absolutely.
Is there any public comment?
There is nothing on, I don't see anybody else on Zoom.
There is nobody here. I would like to close the public meeting
Okay.
with no comments. Thank you for the reminder,
I wonder who drove in, somebody,
and drove out.
oh, they did, I
Yeah.
didn't see. them.
Apparently,
If I
they
saw us.
they saw us and
They,
that was their comment.
they intuited that the wording was.
Perfect, yes, just what they wanted. All right, anything else?
Yes,
Uh-oh,
for next week.
next
Hey.
week?
Yes.
Hmm.
You will be
Second.
meeting next week,
second Thursday.
second Thursday of the month. Because I need you to review a steep slope for a solar system,
Well, another one, huh?
another one.
So is this the same deal where we're having input to the ZBA?
Yep.
We don't, oh,
And this one gets, or everyone else get double
yeah,
stapled.
good. There's no.
Oh,
big-
yes.
Yeah.
It's a very nice,
Apologize. I didn't think it got stapled because they were stapled in the wrong place, and so I
Yours is
stapled
double
them. Yeah, they're all double stapled because I
Oh, I see.
stapled them in a really weird place, and I said, oh, they didn't staple it.
Yeah, I mean, we can all
We can
take care of
pull
that.
the top, yeah. We'll just take the bottom.
I have a screwdriver here if anybody wants to. Instead of using.
Yeah, I'll take it.
just bend it. Bend it in half.
Thank you.
Yeah, just.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, right, yes.
Oh, so where's? this-
So
Up
this
there?
is,
Yeah.
up on Clover Mill, if you know where Nat Niles lives,
Yeah.
it was just below Nat's house.
Oh, right, I went by, it. Yeah, that's the guy he's been working on it a while.
Oh, he lost a lot of trees up on that, where these are going, with the, aerial view. Shows it being trees, those all got knocked down in a windstorm. And have been cleaned up.
How convenient.
Yes, yes, I must
David,
say.
didn't he wanna put him in a different place and he couldn't?
Yeah, well,
That-
what we, this
Oh.
is still on a steep slope, but to get it down to a special exception, and I still need to do all the calculations, but. There should be only 1,000 feet of panel in the, on the steep slope, and everything else got moved to the, garage roof.
Oh, okay, so that. The piece that's up at the top there, that long, that's 1,000.
Yeah, that should be 1,000 or less, and I need to verify that, I have not verified it.
Is this Adam Keller's old house?
No,
No.
Clover Mill Lane is up further on Whipple Hill.
Okay.
You go past, what's that Kevin used to live on, but
Oh, tavern.
the Tavern Lane,
Yeah,
Tavern kind of goes straight, and you turn a corner,
Mhm.
and then Clover Mill is,
right. No, I know the two are there, and I just,
Well, it's quite a ways up there. You got
Yeah.
a big pasture on the left, you can buy that and.
Yeah, yep. And his is the first one as you turn in.
all right.
Yeah, it's a big house. I mean, it's amazing. You got tennis courts and
Yes, he's got a tennis court
polo
up.
fields and Olympic swimming pools. No, he's got a tennis court.
I think the Bradleys on the Ketterer's old house.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
No, Keller.
Oh, Adam Keller, I'm sorry.
But you were right.
Yeah, the Bradleys own Ketterers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, do they? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
it burned. And I don't know if they've fixed it or not.
They have a permit out to work on it, so
that's,
it took a long time for the insurance.
Yeah,
to-
cause Liz's daughter's at Dartmouth Medical School, I think, and she was living there.
that's Culver Hill.
It's pretty specific with those hills. All right, so, we'll be meeting about this,
Yep, you'll be meeting next week about this,
all right?
because I'd like to get them to the zoning board for the 15th.
Okay. And, any questions people have?
Well, so David, the 1,000 square feet or less, that means it can be a special exception.
Exactly.
Because if it's more, then it's what?
Then you have to go to variance.
Okay. Which is a lot more onerous.
Unless this solar thing passes in March,
Oh, right.
then it'd be fine. Right?
So there's a good reason.
Get him to campaign for
Yeah,
passage.
I mean, there,
Yeah.
there are some good things in there.
I'm putting the cur in curmudgeon.
Well, I mean, what do you think? Do you like it?
It's a compromise,
Yeah,
but you know, I think you're on one side of it and I'm on the other, so I think it's fine.
no, actually, I don't think I am on the other side of it. The side I'm on is that it reflect what the survey said. But when I look at it, it just kind of looks like a Frankenstein monster. That's the side I'm, you know, it doesn't, it's not a unified thing. I don't think it really does that much. But as you say, it would smooth the way for this.
Yeah, I think the big thing is, and I agree with Mark when he was saying that there's probably a lot of really good places for large arrays that are not on Route 10 South.
That's-
I
Right,
mean,
and-
that's the big issue,
And
I
that's,
think.
that's my issue, is that
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
if the solar district should have been much more
Right.
comprehensive.
But
But
we can change, you know.
you
if
can
it's-
change that, and if we did that without, you know, basically ignoring what people said, I think it's, you know, I think it's wrong. But yeah, it's, I have utmost confidence in you all fixing it beautifully. And in the meantime, something like this will be helped by it. All right, what else?
That is all I have.
So did one of these things have what the contour lines are across?
I don't believe so. That's what he submitted. I can,
Cause I don't see,
It
yeah,
would be interesting to have contour lines.
the guys who did it up on,
right. This
Washburn
is,
Hill.
you know, the area where the,
Mhm.
panels are, is clearly, you know, in steep slopes. You know, I've been out to the site and, you know, there is no question in
Mhm,
anyone's mind that that's like steep slopes.
Yeah,
And because it's less, 1,000 or less square feet, that's allowed.
The zoning board of adjustment can approve up to 1,000 square feet of intrusion into conservation districts.
I see. Okay.
And so they can approve 1,000 square feet.
well, that's-
And so that was the idea of moving the panels to, I think he was at like 1,200 square feet of panels.
I see.
And so moving some to the roof.
yeah,
Brings it down to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, special exception instead of a variance.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one other thing, I'll just throw it out now, we don't have to talk about it obviously, but driveway permits. The regulations that we have are really old. So, you know, we might, at some point, we might wanna look at those. The other issue is that, if somebody wants to do logging, they need to get a driveway permit for the entrance, you know, for the logging.
do they?
Yeah, because it's an entrance, you know, onto the road. So the problem is that by the regulations, they can put in a logging entrance and they can keep it. I mean, you know, they can keep it. They don't have to get, once they're done logging, they don't have to get rid of it. So I think, David, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Dina has been dealing with this or talking with the select board.
Talk with the select board, and the select board is going to most likely adopt regulations on the select board and to allow Scott to approve temporary logging entrances.
Right,
Road cuts or something.
Right, just to, that will have there'll be when you, do any kind of timber harvesting, you have to do intent to cut.
Yeah.
And so, and that has a lifespan. And so this, it can be lengthened if you need it, but, the idea is to allow the, temporary road cut to be there for the life of the timber intent to cut.
Right,
And
and
then-
so I wouldn't be involved
No,
with
you would
those.
be,
Cause now I have to go, Scott and I have to do them together, you know,
and it'll just streamline things and, make it a lot easier for people to,
Is it then supposed to be closed off?
yes.
I see.
yeah, because. Yeah, we don't wanna have two.
But if somebody's, let's say they wanna develop a lot and put in a driveway. And then, but log out of it also, there's no reason they can't put in a driveway permit, use it for logging, and then. Afterwards, it becomes their driveway, so it's not,
Right,
and so the select board is happy with doing it that way. For eventual driveways, or if you're going to use it.
Right.
Or if you're going to just, cut an opening. And, as long as Scott is happy with it and it protects the road. The big problem is we've been getting, a lot of cuts for logging that are not fixed afterwards.
right.
And it's causing issues.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying, they can keep, in the way that the regulations are now, they could keep that as a driveway.
Right, it's still, it also become the planning board's problem if it's, if it's approved as a curb cut and it's causing problems with. The road, then the planning board can step in and say, nope, fix it.
Right,
So the problem, I mean, these curb cuts, cause problems to the road, how, I mean, I certainly know that if stuff's coming down.
Right, well, that's
It's washing
typically
into the road.
what
Yeah.
happens is it, water coming out of them.
Right.
And it's
Okay.
washing into the road and washing out the road, comes down, just erodes into
Oh,
the,
interesting, okay, right.
right. Well, see, the regulations say the first 10 feet or 20 feet, we should remember, this has to be a grade of 5% or less. But if it's going up, it's, the water's still, we had a issue with one out on Franklin Hill Road, that new house that's being built, and they didn't fix it and it was washing out the road. I think it has been fixed. from what
but it
Scott-
still has, it doesn't meet the angle. And,
Yeah,
it's a rumor, I don't know this for a fact, but it's my understanding that unfortunately the homeowner ran out of money.
yeah,
Oh dear.
And so getting it fixed is not high on the priority
but
list.
still, I was saying, at the time we did it, I was saying that when they had all the equipment in there to do this foundation for the house and all this stuff, they could have easily done it, right
I
there.
don't
It doesn't
think
take-
that's,
Yeah, anyway. And the other example of what's happened, that thing that we just approved for that new house on Washburn Hill Road. That whole business we went
Yeah.
through, so we approved the driveway and the whole
line,
thing.
yeah.
Well, now they're putting in a logging entrance above that driveway. Right there, at the top of the hill. So. Anyway, that's gonna have to get closed, make sure it gets closed off, so they don't have two driveways.
Well, and it's a blind spot, isn't it?
Yeah, right, cause they don't have the site distance, so,
well, that's one of the reasons for having the select board allow logging access.
yeah, and making sure it gets closed off when it's done,
And that'll be up to Scott to monitor that.
yeah. Well, maybe we don't have to talk about driveway stuff unless we wanna look at the regulations again, I guess. The problem with not problem, but the regulations now say nothing about a driveway on the steepness of the road. And whether we ever wanna deal with that, I don't know. I mean, right now, you can put a driveway on a road that's really steep, as long as it meets all the other stuff, so. Maybe that's. Maybe it may not be an issue, but,
I mean, there's other things to worry about too. I mean, there's nothing in the regulations about storage units. Those are.
There isn't.
I don't think so.
No, there's nothing.
They're-
I consider
They're not
them,
structures?
I consider them structures.
Yeah, but
Right.
if you think solar panels, well, at least.
Oh, I know.
It's-
yeah, that's true.
I do tend, if people are doing construction, I will, look at them as temporary and talk to them and say, hey, just so you know that that's not allowed.
That's what I was thinking.
But there's nothing official, but I mean, I have to look at some things and say, you know, for a period of time.
Well,
That's
I mean, the ones
reasonable.
that are on a pad, and
Yeah.
some of them are heated, and, you know, they're,
Yeah, you're talking about
Up-
somebody that has a business,
up-
they just put them in as a business, yeah. Yeah,
Tiny homes, a lot of people make,
and, charging stations, electric vehicle charging stations. Where should we put those?
right out here.
Or the
Yeah.
park and ride, or the park and ride?
No,
Yeah.
right out here, along with a, covered parking, with the panels on to charge it, to have the
yeah,
power.
and when you get your electric vehicle, it'd be great, you can just park it
Work
right there.
perfect for me, you know, and I think, employees should get the
This-
power for free.
Right, good idea.
Oh, let the town buy you a car too, what the heck?
Um,
That'd go over well at town meeting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
yeah,
We're buying electric cars for all our
all
employees.
town employees.
I needed a new vehicle and, well, I need two new vehicles, but,
Oh,
and I did look at EVs and
Not yet.
not yet. I needed a reliable vehicle that I could put more than a few hundred miles on between charging.
What about a hybrids?
Price was my big issue.
Too expensive.
What about the Ford Lightning though, isn't that,
I would love a Ford Lightning,
but they're
but,
expensive.
yeah, I can't afford $60,000-$70,000.
Which their big selling point was that they were saying they were the same price as the regular F-150.
The regular
That's what
F-150
And you
is
can
gonna
plug
cost
your
you the
house
same
Yeah,
amount.
yeah, really, I haven't priced those.
Yeah,
They have
you're-
that much?
Well-equipped is gonna be 80,
Jesus.
which is why I went with a $26,000 Subaru
Oh, that cross,
Crosstrek. Yep,
yeah. I just rode in one of those. the
Good
other
deal.
day. That was a nice car.
they're very, I bought the base model and
My problem with Subarus is they haven't been getting good gas mileage.
I'm getting about 23 around town.
Yeah, I just don't, I need more than that. My CRV gets 32.
Yeah.
So
Well,
this thing really kind of freaky to drive, especially with cruise control, because it steers itself.
Oh, yeah, I always turn that off because it's
Yeah.
like, stop messing with me.
Yeah, the first time driving home
Steering
from
failure,
St.
steering
Johnsbury,
failure.
I'm driving and steering wheel's fighting me. I'm like,
Exactly.
boy, I don't really like this.
That's weird.
Yeah,
And then I realized, you know, you take your hand off the steering wheel and if you take it off for too long, it'll yell at you. But you go around slight corners and it just steers right around the
the
corner.
problem
no
is it
problem.
needs a clear white line on the side of the road
Yeah,
and like Hanover Center Road, nothing there.
yeah. Go off in a-
but I wouldn't be using cruise control over there.
Oh.
So does your engine stop?
Yep.
The one I was in, now how does that work? It shut, did the whole engine shut off?
Yeah, the whole engine shuts off. Now,
And then it
Um,
starts again as soon as you,
mine hasn't done it yet because it's winter and because I have the heater on. It won't shut off because you lose heat.
oh, okay.
But in the summertime, I can shut that off. But it is like a golf cart. Step on the gas and it starts back up again and. away
Yeah,
you
because
go.
the one I was in, it, yeah, she'd stop and then the engine was shut off and then yeah. Interesting.
But I also like it very much on my driveway. It's, it has the descent control. So
Ah.
you turn it on, set the speed you want in 2-3 miles an hour and just steer. Don't touch the gas, don't touch the brakes, let it do its thing. And you can feel it braking and you can feel like you'll feel a wheel break loose and you'll feel the brake come off.
Yeah.
And it
Right,
maintains,
because that's ABS probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it just maintains.
Well, you know, the CRV's got that steering and cruise and all that stuff. Doesn't work in slush.
I would think not because,
Freezes up and it starts saying, no, you can't do that anymore. Our senses are blind.
yeah, I have that, my sensors are up in the windshield and above or behind the mirror. And if you get frost or ice slush build up in there,
I
and
think mine are in the fenders and the bumper.
the other weird thing is it has headlights that turn. So as you're
Really?
going around a corner, the headlights turn into the.
Well,
got around to
You
that.
know, in the sixties, there was a car that did that. I think it might have been the Lincoln. When I was a teenager in 1964, whatever, one of the cars that would turn, the headlights would turn. It was like the big thing.
Pappy said, son, you're gonna drive me to drinking if you don't stop
Driving
driving
that
that
hot
hot
rod
rod.
Lincoln.
Yeah, I forget, yeah. So they-
Great
So,
song.
yeah, 60
Well,
years
now we
later,
know what
they'll
we're
have
gonna sing on the way home tonight.
Well, that's great.
All right,
So,
so well done and 10 of 8.
But then
It's a
the people
record.
that aren't here won't get this until they come to the meeting, right?
Right, I could let him know that he's on tap for the meeting, I'll double check with him. Make sure that he's going to come to the meeting.
But members of the planning board that aren't here tonight won't get
I'm
this
going
until.
to tomorrow, now that I know who's here and who isn't, they're all gonna get them in the mail,
Oh, okay,
so
great.
they should get them within 2 weeks,
You want it?
knowing the Lyme post office.
Yeah, okay, that was my question. Yeah.
And I have electronic copies too, so,
yeah, the only thing I was curious about is those contour lines.
yeah, we can do.
All right, folks, shall we
Yeah.
adjourn? Let's adjourn.
Great job.